Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She is your real estate voice and the host of the program as well. And this is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate, your biggest investment in most cases. And you do it with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, we're hearing a lot in the news about this National Association of Realtors lawsuit settlement for price fixing, antitrust violations. Geez, it gets complicated for the average person. How is that going to affect the real estate commissions going forward?
Well, I think, people that are buying and selling homes don't pay a lot of attention to it necessarily until they have to buy or sell a home, and that's part of the expense of buying and selling. So the whole idea behind this whole commission splitting thing came about in order to leverage not just one agent's buyers, but everybody's buyers so that the seller would get the most money at the end of the day. But the problem is the way they set up the listing service, which is basically the amount that's offered to the agent that brings the buyer, that's published in the agent side of the multiple listing service, and now it's published online for everybody to see, is that there were some companies, some of these big box brokerages that were telling their agents, hey, if you don't offer this much commission, other agents aren't going to show your home. They're not going to bring their buyers. But the technology kind of overtook that whole theory because the buyers are deciding what homes they want to see based on the presentation, the marketing, the pictures, and the price that they're seeing online. Buyers could care less what happens with the commission. They just want that house, right? And they don't know how the agent gets paid. So the way it was set up is only the listing agent negotiates a commission with the seller, and then some of that commission is split with the buyer agent that brings the buyer. The problem was when it was published in the MLS, it was absolutely 100% non-negotiable. I mean, if you offer 2.5%, if you don't pay 2.5%, they're going to take you to the woodshed and make you pay. And I had that experience very recently. I sold a home, and in the negotiations, the buyer raised their offer amount and asked for the seller to pay 10,000 of that money towards their loan closing cost. So if you calculate what the commission was on that, the commission on that 10,000 was about $700. So the seller says, well, I don't want to pay a commission just because the buyer has a cash problem. I don't think that's fair. And I said, I get what you're saying. I agree with you. I'm not going to charge you for that. So I went to the buyer's agent and said, hey, they don't want to pay your portion of the commission for this cash concession. And the answer I got was, if you don't pay it, I'm going to take you to arbitration. I'm going to make you pay it, and you're going to lose. That is the way the whole system is set up. And unfortunately, he is right. That is the way it is. Whatever you offer in the system, 100% non-negotiable. Absolutely not. Doesn't matter what's in the contract. They can still take you to arbitration and you're going to lose. So that is price fixing at its finest. And the sellers, another problem the sellers had was, well, wait a minute, hold on. So this other agent brings a buyer. I hear them on my camera out front telling the buyer it's not worth that much. The next thing I know, I get an offer 40,000 below asking price. We finally negotiate the deal, and then that agent continues to ask for stuff. I want this. I want a new that on the inspection. I'm not closing unless I get this fixed. All these kind of things that took place. And it felt like the seller who's paying the agent that fee is paying them to work against them. That was the issue that caused these lawsuits to happen in the first place. It was almost like if somebody sued you, you're paying the other lawyer to sue you. That's exactly what was going on. And some of these home sellers just had enough. And that was the genesis of all these multiple lawsuits that were taking place all over the country. And the way they had to settle this up, basically the National Association of Realtors, who was one of the named persons in the lawsuit, had to settle out from $1.8 billion to be paid back to these sellers down to $418 million. And then they promised not to offer a commission in the MLS. So what does that mean? So the number one question I'm getting from home sellers is, so does that mean the commission's going to change? Does that mean I'm not paying a commission to the buyer's agent? What does that mean? And, I've talked to experts. I looked at a statement from a lawyer from UCLA law professor that said, I don't think it's going to change a whole lot, except that maybe the communication on how it gets paid is not going to be through the MLS. It's going to be through some other internet web portal, maybe the showing service, maybe some other link, maybe teaching the agent how to negotiate the fee. And then the other thing that's going to happen is the buyers are going to take a look at this and go, wait, hold on. So I'm grabbing some random agent that's not the listing agent, going in to look at this house. And now I got to stroke a check for 2%, which could be, whatever, $15,000 for what they do. Can't I do this myself? Can I go directly to the listing agent? Can I just not be represented? I think we're going to see a lot of that go on. And, there was a millennial that wrote an article probably about a year ago. It was a really good article, really good questions, where he said, what in the heck does a real estate agent do for me anyway? And can't I do that myself? Like, I can find the home without my own agent. I can write the offer without my own agent. I can get my own financing. I can go to the closing table. I can do all the, what are they good for? So it's a very good question. And I think unless real estate agents learn how to articulate their value and the value that they bring to the table, this whole world is going to change. There's going to be a lot of people getting out of the business. I've talked to agents that are actually terrified because they haven't been trained on how to do the things that the customer thinks that they know how to do, which is to market, to learn the market, to understand if it's a good value, to negotiate, right? To handle objections, to provide great service, to get to the finish line, to find them the house. They don't know how to do any of these things, right? What they do is they get a buyer that reaches out to them through some online process, and they go meet them at the house, open the door, and go, oh my God, this buyer wants a house. Cool. I'm going to write an offer and make $10,000 to $20,000. Easy button, ding. That's what they've been doing. And I just put a house on the market, Richard. It is a fixer-upper. It's been almost completely gutted. I've been talking about it the whole show. It was taken back in foreclosure. I took the time to do videos to explain to the agent about how you make an offer on this kind of property, because it is very different. I make sure I update everywhere I can communicate with them through the systems about this property and about how they make an offer. But do you think the agents take the time to even look at it?
Unfortunately, I'm getting the feeling that the answer is no. I don't know if it's a generational thing, or it's just people are overwhelmed, or they expect to make easy money. I mean, you work hard to represent your clients.
I do, and they expect me to answer questions, and I don't mind answering questions. But if this person that's licensed, that has access to the same data that I have, and that can read the inside scoop that I have posted in the MLS and showing instructions, and they aren't doing it, it's really frustrating. So this particular home was priced 40% below the repaired value. That's enough room for an investor to get in there, fix it up, sell it, and make a decent profit. That's a really good deal. And of course, there's going to be a lot of buyers interested in a property like that, especially fix and flips people, or maybe people that just have their own skills to do that kind of work, right? So some of the questions I got from agents, one of them was, oh, can you send me some similar sales so I can figure out what it's really worth? And I'm like, oh my God, really? You're supposed to be the expert and you're asking me to do your job. Would you like me to write the offer for you too? I had another agent called me real estate emergency on a Sunday. This is after it's been on the market for almost a week, and go, do you have any other offers on this home? And I'm like, yes, I do. I have 25? Have you read what's the one little paragraph that's in the MLS or the one little paragraph that's on your phone when you set the showing? And the answer was, no, I just didn't have time. So seriously, she wants to open a door, have her buyer say yes, and get paid $9,000 and have to do absolutely nothing. That is why the people that don't take the time to educate themselves to provide really good value in this industry, they are going to go away. That's what I predict. I think in the next couple of months, we're going to see a big drain of people that just don't know how to articulate value within the system, and they're not going to do well. And it's all on them. I mean, I took the time to learn stuff. I took the time to look at similar sales to figure out value. You have to do that because the buyers expect you to know that. And so I think going forward, what's going to happen are a lot of changes. I think that there could be pressure on commissions, or maybe not. Maybe they'll just find another way to negotiate it, but it's going to be exciting either way. And so if you are thinking of making a move and you want to talk to somebody that has expertise on how to do all the things that you get top dollar, pricing, promotion, preparation, all those things, give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
Barb is the only agent that I would recommend when you're thinking of making a move. You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb, you've got these homes. You guarantee the sale. Tell us about these hot new listings.
Absolutely. So I have a stunning property up on Boulder Lane and Woodmore Mountain on Larkspur at 129.9. Beautiful townhome with 2 master suites at 354 on Riley Grove. Spectacular home out on 35 acres on Powers Road in the 370s. A gorgeous townhome in Briargate at 320 would be a fabulous rental. I have a beautiful home out on McClellan Road. This home is at 459 on 40 acres with a 4-car attached garage and lots of room for your 4-legged family members. We also have one coming up this week on Soapweed Road, also on 40 acres with a barn in Calhan. And then we have a spectacular townhome on Wind River Point. If you want easy living, basically move-in ready, this beautiful, spectacular, like new home priced at $529.9 is on the market, and this is a hot new listing. We also have a gorgeous remodel home on Snowbird Drive in the mid-5s, a great home right next to UCCS. This would be a perfect rental property, just lowered the price to $434,999. An amazing 2-story close to the Air Force Academy on Allegiance Drive at $629. And then we have 2 great properties in Peyton on 5 acres. One of them has solar, multiple barns, fencing, cross fencing at $719. And the other one on 5 acres has multiple barns, beautiful fresh carpet, move-in ready in the low 7s. And an amazing home on Star Ranch Road in the Broadmoor. Plus, we have a handyman special coming up down in Fountain, priced $300,000 below market, as well as a beautiful starter home on Water Dipper coming up, and another great home on Chalet Lane out there in the Black Forest with an RV garage. So if you want to find out about those, go to barbhasthebuyers.com or give us a call at 719-301-3900. Richard?
You've been listening to Your Real Estate Voice. It airs every Saturday right after Cudlow, 11 o'clock here on 740 KVOR. And if you're thinking of making a move, just call Barb at 719-301-3900. You can text her as well or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. And you can see replays of the show on Barb's YouTube channel, Barb Has the Buyers, or listen, of course, to the podcast on all of the popular platforms, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, many, many others. Thanks for listening this weekend. And to reach out to Barb again, just call 719-301-3900. Barb, you have a great week. Great talking with you.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.